And so how would a deal, let's say I wanted to sell my business to Lee. Back when I was in the business world, we were doing an acquisition, I'd always say to my team, you can't do a good deal with a bad guy. So can you sort of understand our concern about this deal? Because it sure looks like, if we're doing a good deal, as you suggest, it's with a bad guy.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and it's you know, we confronted questions about what could be achieved or not achieved in the course of these negotiations ourselves, and came to the conclusion, therefore, that nothing is based on trust, that we are going to set up something that you can read, we can read, that everybody can understand what the expectations are. And that's one of the reasons why, from a position of strength, we believe we achieved something that really helps establish some level of confidence over the years, and that's the level to which they will reduce their current program, reduce their stockpile, live by limitations on enrichment, which are absolutely ascertainable, and so forth. So we've created, we think, a dynamic here where you get over the hurdle of the things you don't like and are bad behavior because you've created something that is verifiable and has certainty in it.
Is there any chance that Iran's strategy is to get the deal signed, get the $50 billion, and then a year or so down the road start to violate the agreement, knowing that—
As we said earlier.
Yeah, and I know that's the challenge of going last or next to last, but I appreciate you staying. But isn't there a chance a year from now it's going to be a whole lot more difficult for us to get the band back together and be able to put in place some of the protections that led to this point?
Not if they're breaking the agreement.
So
not if
Russia and China are just going to go along and say, gosh, United States, we understand your concern, and what can we do to get back in
We're convinced about the seriousness of purpose of all of our 5 other partners in this effort.
Are there any, hindsight's 20/20, and I'm not asking you to necessarily evaluate how we got to this point, but is there any credibility to the concern that I think someone earlier mentioned that maybe decisions by Ambassador Rice or the administration or your negotiating team really put us in a position now where if we don't sign this deal, we're really left without any good options? Any concern in hindsight we could have done things a little differently, maybe UN Resolution 1929, other decisions that were made along the way that put us in this box in terms of having no great options?
Well, we think we have a great option. The great option is the agreement that we came to, and we did not create the box, by the way. You guys decided you wanted to review it, and now you're reviewing it. And I'm sorry about the consequences of that review, but that's not our creation. The consequences of the review are the reality that this agreement can, not go forward, and there are consequences to that.
Well, I have no regrets, sir, about having the responsibility of reviewing this agreement.
I'm not arguing with you about your right to do it. Right. But we are arguing that the consequences, when you weigh the benefit of this agreement going through versus the consequence of not doing it, are serious.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
One last question, sir, and I appreciate your time. But you said earlier that this was never about making sure Iran did not have a nuclear program, but rather about making sure they did not have a nuclear weapon.
The capacity to build a nuclear weapon or to get one.
So what did President Obama or candidate Obama mean in the debate with Mitt Romney in 2012 when he said the deal we will accept is they end their nuclear program? It's very straightforward. So he really was just talking about the capacity to create a nuclear weapon, not a nuclear program.
Having played Mitt Romney for him in preparation for that debate, I can assure you that's what he meant.
Okay. Thank you for your time again, sir. I hope you're doing all right on your crutches. I spent a lot of time over the years on crutches. They're not any fun. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.